It finally happened. The NX was revealed just earlier today, and it wasn't in fact the NX, that was just a code name. It is the Nintendo Switch. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen everywhere on the internet, maybe including my own reaction video to it, but a lot of people are talking about it right now, and I kind of wanted to talk about this system and the things going forward, the things I'm excited about, and the things that you should probably maybe be cautious for. Nintendo's kind of had a long-running list of issues over the past few console generations, and that's third-party support. Most of the time, these systems, including the GameCube, the N64, and most specifically the Wii U, really define themselves by Nintendo first-party made games. And I gotta say, you guys know me. I've made and covered videos and topics about the Xbox One, the Wii U, the PlayStation 4, and any other systems that have kind of come out over the past like 6 years within YouTube videos. And I constantly need to tell you guys one thing, and this is something that I still stand by to this day. I like games, not consoles. Unless it's the Dreamcast. The biggest reason being is that you can have the most amazing console of all time that does absolutely everything and looks incredible, but if it doesn't have the proper games to support it and the software backing, then it doesn't really matter. Games are what defines video game consoles, and this is held true for some of the biggest consoles ever, which is like the PlayStation 2 and the Super Nintendo. So here's the thing, right now we don't know a ton about the NX and the games it's going to have, other than the fact that we did see a potential update to Splatoon or maybe even a sequel, and then there was Skyrim, and this might not come across as a big deal to many of you guys, but this is very deliberate because Skyrim's a third-party game and it's one of the biggest ones, and these games don't show up on Nintendo consoles. Now, this is probably going to be the most critical thing going forward in the NX's life, is how much third-party support can it get? But holy crap, they sent us an image. Let's just see how much support it's got. Holy shit! From Software? Arc System Works? What the hell, are they going to release Dark Souls and Guilty Gear on this system? Like, Platinum is on there, that makes perfect sense, but holy shit, there is so much third-party support that it's absolutely insane. Now, not all of this is going to be true, but this is the biggest news about the NX. Completely blasting anything about its portability, its battery life, the fact that you can take and rip its arms off. This is the biggest thing going forward for this system, and right now, this image leaves me with a lot of hope going forward. Except for Konami. We all know that one's a lie. Now, I don't think all of these are going to come true, but the fact that they have actually gone out of their way to establish partnerships like this is a really big deal for Nintendo because they've been kind of different ever since the Wii in terms of how people come to them. Another tidbit I'm really happy about is the fact that there is no title of Wii anywhere to be found. That was a huge detriment of the Wii U, is that the majority of the public, the people that don't go to NeoGAF or check Kotaku or IGN or news sites on a daily basis, they had no idea that the Wii U was a completely brand new system. They thought it was a simple upgrade to the Wii, like the balance board or something like that, and they felt it unnecessary. This is a brand new console, but how different is it? And this is the problem where I kind of am not super amped about the system itself. Like I said, I get excited for games, but if I'm gonna make a critical sort of gut reaction, this kind of feels like the Wii U 2. The biggest advantage of the Wii U was the fact that you can take its tablet away from the system for a limited space. You could kind of do it within your house, but if you went too far, it didn't work. But that was kind of cool that if you had your system within close proximity, you can go to the restroom, you can go to your bed or do whatever, and actually still play your games online completely functioning from the tablet. And now the NX looks almost identical to the tablet. I'm sorry, the Switch. But the biggest draw of the Switch is that you can take this thing without a brick console. You don't need the console itself anymore. It has its own battery charge. But how different is that from the Wii U? They show examples of people taking their system out in a multitude of places. The convenience factor is there, but that's pretty much it. It's a bit more convenient than the Wii U, because if you had access to a power port in any situation with the Wii U, you were kind of good. You could stick your Wii U in a backpack, shove its power port into whatever power supply you might have on an airplane or if you're waiting somewhere, and then just have the tablet sitting out and play your games just fine. That functionality is still there with the Switch, but it's just a bit more convenient. And this is what I meant in my reaction video, that the Switch is just kind of like a better version of the Wii U. It's doing everything the Wii U does, and might even have very similar games from the initial impressions we were getting. But how much is that going to carry over in terms of backwards compatibility? Because the NX/Switch doesn't seem to use discs anymore. And this is a huge part of this system, is that backwards compatibility might be a really rough thing, because right now, since it can't do discs, it does these little cartridges. Nintendo is returning to cartridges, and this was a part of all the rumors. How big are those cartridges going to be? How fast are they going to be? And what do we do about our old Nintendo games? Are they just going to rely on the Wii Shop and like downloading games directly for in terms of backwards compatibility? That kind of sucks. I do love the fact that we can actually stick in our Wii games into our Wii U and still play them and have them function. The majority of Nintendo systems, for the most part, kind of have an element of backwards compatibility to them. The Wii could play GameCube games, the Wii U could play Wii games, but what about the NX? Or, I'm sorry, the Switch. I'm forever gonna call this thing the NX. It's not gonna be able to do any disc-based thing as we know right now, so what are they gonna do? I made a joke earlier about games like Smash Melee HD being a huge thing. That's something that I personally think is never going to happen, which is why I was making a joke about it. I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to that game, but the chance of it happening with Sakurai at the helm is extremely, extremely minuscule, especially when they are developers that are like, well, why would you play the old games when you could play the new game? I know it'd make a lot of people happy, which is why I said it, but the chance of it happening is very slim. But I do think that they're going to bring back select games from the Wii U, like Smash Brothers. There was a huge rumor about Smash 4 coming out for the system, and other games like Mario Kart, which we did see a slightly upgraded version of Mario Kart had like King Boo. That's cool, because those games are great. I want to carry some of the best games from the Wii U over to this new system, because the Wii U was pretty damn short-lived. And there's some amazing games on that console. I don't follow consoles, guys, but I'll tell you right now, there are some of the most fun titles of any genre I've played on the Wii U, and that does say a lot about that system. And I want to play that on the new system, damn it. I'm curious what they're going to do to fix this, and I'm also curious about the freaking price point. Realistically, the Nintendo Switch needs to be very competitive in terms of its cost, because right now I don't see the appeal of having it be completely mobile a huge thing. I don't see the appeal of using a really gimped-looking tiny controller to play games with one other person. That might be something that you'll do a little bit of at the start, but I don't see that being a huge draw and a big reason to be like, I gotta get this system. I get it, they're going for a console/portable hybrid. That will be a big thing in the long run, depending on its battery power, which is also really freaking important. But the other things as far as like multiplayer local and things like that, I don't know, man. I think a lot of people, if they want to do that kind of experience, are just going to get people locally to do it. So I don't see that lasting very long. I see that kind of as the gimmick of the system right now, similar to the tablet gimmick of the Wii U. But its portability and be able to use it as a regular system on the fly whenever you want, that's going to be really cool. And I can see that being a thing, not using gimpy little controllers to share with somebody else. I'm very curious how that's going to work, but I'm not really excited about that. But talking about that notion, the fact that many Nintendo systems over the past while have been based on gimmicks. The Wii was the motion gimmick, the Wii U was the tablet gimmick, and while the Wii did introduce a whole bunch of people to gaming through motion controls and kind of revolutionize the industry, I give them huge props for that. Carrying over the tablet gimmick of the Wii U was heavily unutilized, and barely any games even need it, and it's mostly a crutch in the long run for a lot of people. Myself included, I have to make sure this thing is charged all the damn time, because it seems to run out of battery power really freaking fast after owning the console for 4 years. So, the cool thing about this system is that its gimmick seems relatively minor. It's a portable, that's not exactly a gimmick, it's just a portable/console hybrid, but the ripping the controller out and doing all the things with it, I feel that that is the gimmick of the system, but it's not nearly as prevalent. The thing is that's wonderful about this, developers don't have to go about doing motion control support. You have to do something to integrate the tablet into it. We don't even know if the screen of this thing is actually a touchscreen or not, which is good. They just have to focus on making the games as good as they possibly can, and it's something that has me probably the most excited about the Nintendo Switch in the future. I'm gonna be getting it. Like I said, my excitement for this thing is waning right now, but I'm excited at the possibility of a lot of really cool games being made for this system. Even though the GameCube did not have a lot of third-party support, there were some amazing titles that came as a result of third-party support collaboration on systems like the GameCube. So, let's see stuff like that again. Let's get some ridiculous Nintendo versus Capcom fighting game that is made by Capcom and only is on this new system. Holy shit, it could actually happen, but Nintendo needs to be open for that third-party support, and for the first time in a long time, it looks like they really are. It's a lot to talk about. I know this went on for a long time. I'm passionate about this stuff because I'm excited for the games that could be in the future. But when are we gonna hear about these games? Not until 2017. All right. We're back to the waiting game once again, but the system isn't too far off, coming out in March. It's just ridiculous how little we're gonna know about the titles and more information about this system because it's gonna take quite some time. As always, dudes, let me know what you think about the NX/Nintendo Switch. I can't tell you not to be excited about this system, especially if you're a Nintendo fan, but wait for the games you like. Don't go pre-order things just based on hype alone, and wait for things to look really cool and for you to be convinced before just going out and buying something. As always, dudes, thank you a ton for watching. My name is Max, and I'll see you next time.